All right, we're back. Hey, sorry about the little technical issues that we were having this morning.
It was my fault.
No, it's no one's fault.
Oh, it could have been my fault.
It's you, not me.
It's me, not you.
You don't change your passwords.
Oh,
Or tell me that you do so we can adjust that.
Yeah, that's true.
No big deal.
Hey, my password is...
That's right.
Password.
It's password.
Yeah, password. I know a lot of people actually have that one.
I remember. Like, these are the ones passwords you don't use.
It's weird when your ear itches, but you got a thing on it.
Well, you can move it off there. You don't have
to.
Could I?
Yes, you can. Nah, I'm not going to do it.
All right, so it's Wednesday.
Day after election night.
Damn, this week seems like it is
flying.
See, for me, I feel like it should be Thursday or Friday already.
Yeah, I know. You probably woke up Monday and thought it was Thursday, right?
Something. Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
You got 4 Thursdays.
Well, then I was down, Monday I was down at the county recorder's office.
Right.
County, whatever.
And last night too, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, just being the official observer, just for the radio station reached out and said, hey, would you do this for us? And so I said, sure. Yeah. I went down there, and what was nice is going through the whole tour and understanding how they do differently with the new technology and the new machines, and everything's different. At the ballot stations, they have actual scanners where they scan the stuff in. So when they're done, they have the drives can come over. There is no hand count. There is no checking.
Wow.
Yeah. So when the ballots are done and brought in, but not every county's like that.
So when you're observing, did you ever kind of lean forward and say, I see you?
No, you're not supposed to talk to the people.
Oh.
So when you're there and they're flattening, so what they have to do is open them. And by the way, it's late now, but next time you do it, tear off the stuff at the top, please. It makes their life so much easier.
Is it perforated?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then I tore it off.
That's your thing saying keep this.
Yeah.
Well, oh my goodness.
Nobody
No one did it. Yeah. I didn't even do it until I told my wife, oh, by the way, when you tear that off, when you send that in.
Yeah, I actually did. It was weird.
Well,
I read some stuff. I could never do what you're doing because I talk to everybody.
Yeah, well, don't worry. The volunteers, this one lady is like, starts talking to me. Mike is in the Air Force, and then the HR director, because it's all hands on deck. Yeah. Everybody who works at there is in there. The accounting firm, the people that do accounting, the people who do HR, you name it, overseeing the volunteers who are there.
So the librarian would come over and say,
he came over. I was like, oh, you got in trouble because you're not supposed to be talking to me.
Don't want to influence a vote.
No, so I went back down there last night because they wanted me on to see what was going on, and it was like crickets. I was like, I'm so sorry, it's such a nail biter tonight. So anyway,
yeah,
it was, and at 8:01 they uploaded everything through Sunday, and then there wasn't another upload until like 10 something.
Yeah, and we'll have another update tomorrow, right?
Well, yeah, because they're going to be counting today, flattening and all that stuff, and then Thursday. So they asked me, I'm supposed to go back down, but I looked at my schedule and it's like, okay, I got to do some work.
Instead of flattening, why don't they just give us a bunch of like flashcards, all the same size?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because we get lost.
That's right. People don't pay attention or don't.
Hey, we have a thing in real estate called RDR. Realtors don't read. So you can imagine what the public does.
Yeah.
PDR. Public don't read.
People don't read. If they did, we wouldn't have certain things in place that we do now.
What? Okay, we're getting political.
No, I'm just saying people need to read what you vote for. I don't care what it is. School board, you name it, whatever you're voting for, make sure you understand. Hey, wait, it's Wednesday. That's right. Jason.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Mike begged me to come on Wednesdays.
I did. Mike, could you please come in Wednesday? Want to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Yeah.
I think we're going to do that, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So he's happy.
Yep.
All right.
Love Jason. Great guy.
All right. Anything? I'm seeing people getting in a contract and actually seeing people getting closing costs.
Hey, you know what I want to think about and talk about is buyers. This is the perfect time to buy a piece of property. The competition is a little less. I wrote one this weekend. There were only 2 other offers on the property. Been on the market a whole 2.5 days. A great piece of property out in Oakdale. Pay attention to the listing agent. Ask some questions. Find out what the seller needs. And if you can make that happen, you're going to get accepted. Oh, we got accepted.
So what you're saying is make sure you have a good agent helping you to talk to the listing agent.
It helps.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to talk to the listing agent. They're not going to tell you anything they can't.
Right.
Usually.
Who are we talking about? We're talking about the buyer or the real estate agent?
The real estate agent should be talking to the listing agent. Yeah, you don't want the other. It happens sometimes, and then you as a buyer's agent go, "Ah! What did you promise them? Is it in writing?"
No, I had a couple of ones that just got, they were like, we're going to ask for this. And they're like, we got it. I can't believe we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people are getting nervous, and the sellers, and there's no reason to. It's just people have to get used to current rates.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday in a breakfast with the brokers meeting at my office, which was a lot of fun, a lot of great topics. And one of the topics I brought up is agents. If you're having a bad day, shut up. Don't talk doom and gloom. It's just not gloomy or doomy. It's just different.
I remember back in 2008 and all that, people had jars in their offices, and every time you talked about doom and gloom, you had to put $1 or $5 in the jar.
Oh, we have one in our office. It's every time I say a cuss word.
Yeah, so
I am broke.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I'm just saying that could be a way to get people back into not saying.
Yeah, actually, that's a great idea. I like that.
I do it, but I'd have to put all the money in it in my office because everybody works from home.
Exactly.
But there's no reason not to be out finding that property.
I don't really ever hear you talk doom and gloom, though.
I don't.
Yeah.
So,
whether you're having a bad day or you're not, the public doesn't want to know it.
No.
Just be up.
Yeah, because they have enough problems as it is.
Yeah.
They don't need more.
Go home, put your head in the pool. Relax.
If you have them bad, go work out.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Throw in my case, a 2-pound weight around.
Throw it. Well, actually, I want you to use them. I don't want you throwing.
Oh, yeah.
That makes
those are easier to throw, the 2-pound ones.
Yeah, they are. You actually throw your shoulder out.
Hey, during Love Modesto, and I cleaned up, I was part of the Beautify McHenry, and I got to tell you, we found an 8-pound shot put on McHenry off the sidewalk in the bushes. I thought, that's an interesting thing.
That is interesting. That must have been some homeless person found it, and he didn't want to no longer keep it in their cart.
He was weighing them down.
That's right.
He's like, I'm never going to make it to the recycle place and get anything on this.
This is too much work.
Yeah.
It's like being at CrossFit again, pushing the sled.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I have one of those. I have all that stuff at home. It's just the problem is I have to move my wife's cars out of the driveway.
Yeah. Hey, and listing agents, do not be afraid to talk to your sellers. Talk to your sellers. Make sure that they understand that this is not as quick a market as it used to be, that they're probably okay. Recheck the price from time to time. Don't be shy about having the conversation with your seller about possibly reducing the price.
Right.
Depending on their time.
Or what are they don't call it reduction anymore.
And price improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Price modification, price improvement.
Yeah.
This looks better.
Yeah. I just think make sure you price it right for the market, meaning don't overprice it. Put it where it's supposed to be. You're going to still get a few offers.
Yep.
And if it's under 476, you're going to get a lot of offers still. So that's the FHA.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
And as we said, don't worry about it. We're going to see lower rates going forward. You can get out there in a year from now or so, whenever that happens, and refinance.
Do a refi.
Because if you're going to wait like everybody else is, you're going to be back in the same situation we were just through.
Now, with an FHA loan, do you have to wait 13 months?
No, there's actually.
Can you do a streamline sooner?
Yeah, you can do it within so many days.
See, I was just lobbing something up for you.
I know you saw that. I saw that. Appreciate that. Technically, they want, like VA and stuff. They want. Most lenders prefer after 6 payments, so that because the cost of the loan to initiate it is when they get their money back, or the loan officer or somebody else might have what's called an EPO, early payoff, and they have to do some stuff with that. But for FHA and VA, they have a requirement, so you have to wait so long, and there's so many days, and that's just so that people don't churn them. And
conventional, you're good to go.
Yeah, most people after 6 payments, but it's got to make sense, and it's going to probably take till first of the year before that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even now, I mean, it depends what you're looking at. I have people refinancing right now who, like, my loan is a 5%. What do I care if I'm getting another 5% cash out?
Exactly. And what do you care?
Yeah, as long as I can make the payment, it works for what I'm trying to do. Because you got to remember, as it gets slower, that means other people are slower, and you might be able to get that stuff done you wanted to get done that you haven't been able to. Like the pools and the other stuff, because the pool companies were so far out.
They still are.
I know, but eventually I don't mean that.
Yeah, they'll slow down again.
Just because people are like, oh, I don't have. I don't have the money for it. Well, there's always HELOCs, and then you can always refinance those later into one new loan once the rates drop.
Yeah, you need to talk to. I think we're boring people. We've gone from 8 to 4.
It's just we talk too long.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 10 minutes. We're not talking about amazing stuff, but we're just saying don't worry about the market. This is a great time for buyers to buy right now.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to make sure that it works for your numbers, your budget, what you're trying to do, and make sure what you're looking for is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Right. Because you might have a champagne budget. It was a champagne taste on a beer budget. Just make sure you know what you're really looking for. Reassess maybe. I don't need that 4th bedroom. 3 is just fine.
Joe wants to know what's earnest money and the rules behind it. Is in Texas, and that we mentioned by a realtor. Any money will be accepted, at least in I don't get that.
Well, earnest money is the earnest money deposit, which on a contract, you have to have some type of earnest to make it a valid contract.
It can be a boat. It could be a scooter. It could be a lot of things.
Let's stick with cash.
Okay.
Right? Let's talk about what we're doing. So basically, most people, and it depends on the area, right? Because sometimes it could be $500. Sometimes it's 1%. What's your average that you'd ask people for earnest money deposit?
Eddie says, I believe lenders prefer that you wait 6 months. Yep.
That's
what we said.
Yeah, that's because that has to do with the early payoff, EPO.
Yep.
Because sometimes you have to pay back your commission.
In San Francisco areas, you're looking at 3% of purchase price as a deposit. In Stanislaus County, it's not uncommon to be 1%, 1.5%. Sometimes I see offers come in with 3% of the purchase price. Of course, the higher the deposit, sellers think that you're a little more serious about purchasing the property, that you're willing to put this money up. Of course, your earnest money deposit is always applied towards your down payment, your closing costs. So if you've got the money in the bank and most escrows are 30 days or less. So you're not going to make much interest on that money anyway, although you could get an interest-bearing account through the title company. But you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. 0.000001.
Yeah. So it's just, you want to make sure that the buyer's serious about purchasing the property. And the higher the deposit, the more serious the buyer seems to be. I've seen people walk away from big deposits, but it all just depends.
All right. So since you brought that up, when they walk away from deposits, so at what point does the earnest money deposit no longer is yours and it's the seller's?
At close of escrow, basically.
Or isn't if you waive your contingencies and then you decide not to go forward?
Your deposit is at risk. It doesn't necessarily mean that the seller automatically gets it. Okay. 1, the buyer has to say, okay, I relinquish this deposit, which I've had buyers do. 2, the seller's going to request it in the demand to close escrow. If you don't close escrow, I want to keep your deposit. But not necessarily does it automatically go back. Sometimes you may have to go to small claims.
I guarantee you. Yeah. You're going to go to, well, it depends on the size of it.
You're going to, what's small claims now? 10,000 or 7,500?
Yeah. But 3% of a thing over the Bay Area is going to be a lot more than that. Yeah. So it just you just have to understand that when you release your appraisal contingency, your loan contingency, and inspection contingency, at that point, you're saying we're going to go forward. And if we don't,
your deposit is at risk.
Yeah.
I just like to say at risk because it's not 100%.
No, because they actually have to take you to court most of the time unless you just go ahead and take my money.
Yeah.
Right. And you can always. I don't want to go because are you still seeing them waiving the inspection those
Not right now. Right now, and we talked about that yesterday in our meeting. We were seeing agents that are, hey, I'm getting a request for repair on this property. So as this market changes a little bit, buyers are like, okay, I only competed with 1 or 2 other contenders, and they're probably gone now because they've probably gone to some other place. These things should be fixed, and so they'll do a request for repair. Sometimes we'll do credits towards the request for repair instead of having it fixed because of time frames. But thanks, Doug. I like great information and 3 smiley faces.
I didn't want to interrupt your train of thought. I know you're.
No, I still have a train of thought. It's a slow train, but it is thought. So, yeah. Not so many. They're decreasing the time frame at which they can do those inspections. make sure when you're doing it as a buyer's agent that your inspectors can get out there in the time frame that you reduce it to if you want an inspection.
Right. I mean, right now appraisal's much faster. I mean,
Oh,
I had
gosh.
one done in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Which is
6
unusual.
hours? Was that
Yeah.
just a desktop?
No, it was a full appraisal.
They
It
went
was
out, measured, did the whole thing.
Yeah, it was over in the Bay Area, which was even more
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, they went out. So we actually ordered it. They assigned it in the morning. Next, they had the inspection a couple hours later, and then by 7:30 it was in.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, holy cow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's just how amazing we are. I'm just nothing to do with us.
Because you had control of that completely.
Well, we actually use panel appraisers more than anything else anymore.
Yeah.
So there are so many people that are going through there, and they want to keep everybody happy. So they're not sitting on them like, before when you had a lot of AMCs, and that's the appraisal management companies.
Right.
The appraisers would like grab them all. Right. They sit there in the office, grab 20, 40 of them, and then go, okay, it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks to get these done.
Right.
Why are you doing that to everybody? Just do the ones you can do. There's enough going forward.
Would you say it's a word greed?
Something like that. Yeah. But it's you must be, getting out of the business eventually, because you'll get on the list.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing I will remind people, if you have an appraiser that is coming through that that you don't like who that appraiser is, or if somebody has a relationship with that appraiser in the transaction, they'd have to get you a new appraiser.
Right.
And so you can always say that the appraiser, somebody in the transaction, has a relationship with them.
I would use the words due to a conflict of interest.
Well, yeah, but a relationship works too, because it doesn't, who's going to
I don't like to have relationships.
I know, but the definition of relationship.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I'm just saying, what you can say the conflict, but then they might come back. What is the conflict?
He doesn't like me.
He gets up too early and he wakes me up when he leaves his house.
He's got a big motorcycle.
Yeah. So it's just So just talk to your loan officer, whoever's handling it.
Yeah.
And agents, if you have that issue, just reach out to them and say, hey, this is what we know, and we can get a better appraiser. And because it's really important to get better people in these transactions.
I want to reiterate to the sellers, prices are pretty stable. There are sellers we're seeing that are reducing prices because we started too high. They started too high because they see their neighbor get an X amount of dollars over their list price, and they think their house is so much better than the other one. Don't play that game, especially in this market, because you will run down the flagpole looking for the right price. Start a little under the market, let the market react.
Yeah. You
will never undersell your home in this market.
No, we still don't have enough homes.
Right.
We're 4.3 million homes short. And at the way we're building them right now with 200,000 extra a year, it will only take 19 years to get caught up.
Yep.
So
19.
Only 19.
So I'm doing the math.
It's like,
I'll be dead.
You won't be dead.
I'll be done.
You'll just be using your walker.
Yeah. And I won't be throwing the 2-pound weights. I'll be curling with them, right?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Everybody putting up with us today. We appreciate it. We'll be back on Friday. And hopefully we won't have any issues then, as long as Mike doesn't change his passwords by then.
Nope. All right.
Everybody have a great day.
Have a great Wednesday. Thank you all.